All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, glory, and honor unto Yahweh, Bashem, Yahushai, Bashem, Rakah, Quadash. Double honors unto the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who never left the flock and continue to rule well. Shalom to Akim who go out throughout the four corners of the earth, pushing this truth in all sincerity, risking your life and putting your life on the line to do so. I'm the brother Tawab Bosch from the Great Millstone Northwest, and just coming in with another lesson. Lord willing, it's edifying. Let me see if I can find this first one. This is Deuteronomy 28. And it's like, yeah. There it is, 36. Deuteronomy 28 and 36. The Lord shall bring thee and thy king which thou shalt set over thee unto a nation which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, and there shalt thou serve other gods, wood and stone. And it shall become an astonishment, a proverb, and a byword among all nations. And thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb, and a byword among all nations, whither Yahweh Bashem Yahushai shall lead thee. Right? And this is something that happened to our people for our disobedience. Right? The scriptures say that obedience is better than sacrifice. We were talking about this at camp yesterday. Well, the nation, as a nation, we are not an obedient people. Therefore, for our disobedience, he brought us to a nation which neither our fathers or us have known. And here we serve gods of wood and stone. Right? We left our power, Yahweh, and his path shown by Yahweh Shai to follow the heathenistic customs, to human sacrifice, praying to idols, a lot of wicked things that our people did, going off, which was all part of the plan. And here we also became a proverb and a byword, right? What do they call Uncle Tomahawks? What else they call us? They call us prairie niggers. All kinds of stuff they called us, man. Savages, heathens, Native Americans, Indians, all these names that have nothing to do with us, right? But here is where we learned our punishment from the Lord, right? And this was prophesied, right? This is Genesis, and Salakia, you so-called Native Americans are of the tribe of Gad, out of the 12 tribes of the nations of Israel. Right, Naphtali, Asher, Gad, Joseph split into Manasseh and Ephraim, right? All these tribes, Reuben, Judah, Levi, Benjamin. Let's see, Zebulun, right? I'm leaving out some tribes, but. It's a whole nother lesson to get into all the tribes and what they mean and why we believe, in these being prophecies of where they would be and who they are today. This one's pretty simple. Genesis 49 and 19. Gad, a troop shall overcome him. I'm just going to type in troops overcoming Indians. Ooh, okay, here's some good images. Right? And Gad themselves are a troop. But here's some of the troops, just kind of showing. These troops came in and took Gad down, right? Right, so during the colonial wars, they came in and they sent in troops, and the troops is what overcame Gad, right? But in the end, Gad is going to overcome. Why? Because Yahweh Shai is coming back with legions and fleets of chariots and is going to destroy America. and the Edomites. This thus saith the Bible, according to the Holy Scriptures. Right, buffalo soldiers. Again, they had to use Jake to overcome. They had to use the southern kingdom of Israel, which is you Negroes, you West Indians, and you Haitians. Mostly you Negroes to attack Gad, you Native Americans, right? Which is how they got us. They split us apart. They divided us. I don't even know if that's how you said that. They divided us into northern. I mean, we've always been separated into northern and southern since the time of the split during the. I'm trying to think of who was the king at the time. It starts with an A. But anyways, these Native Americans, they were taken down with the help of with the Negroes, so-called Negroes, helping Esau, Edom, so-called white man, into helping them win those Indian wars. Without the Buffalo soldiers, they would have lost those wars. Right? This is Numbers 35 and 33. So ye shall not pollute the land wherein ye are, for blood it defileth the land. And did Esau not defile this land with blood? Right? He killed millions and millions of Native Americans and Negroes and Latinos and Seminole Indians on this land. The whole continent. Right? So it's polluted. It's defiled. And the land cannot be cleansed. Here's part of that. In the end, Gad shall overcome. And the land cannot be cleansed of the blood that is shed therein, but by the blood of him that shed it. So the so-called white man, this is a future prophecy, something that he's going to have to deal with and pay for. And, what's funny too, is when you get into this word, the Native American tribe called the Lakota, or even the Dakota, and the Nakota, they all speak a very similar language. And the word for Esau, Edom, is Wasichu. Wasichu, and we know in the ancient Hebrew it would have been wasach, right? But Wasichu or wasach means taker of the fat, right? Which is very, very spiritual. Now, there's a debate out there. Some people say it doesn't mean that. It means spiritual person, or the word means taker of the fat. I spent a lot of time with, very so-called prominent Native American people of Gad. The people of the North and South Dakotas, the Lakota tribe, and anytime they spoke about what the word meant, it was taker of the fat. Right, he that takes the fat, which is spiritual, because that's what he does. If you look at Venezuela, he's there trying to get the fatness of the earth. So let's get into it. Here's why. This is Genesis 27 and 39. And Isaac his father answered and said unto him, Behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth, and of the dew of the heavens from above. Right, and that's exactly what Esau has, is all the resources. Just like he was trying to go into Venezuela and take their resources. Just like he's doing in Bolivia, right? He wants their oil, he wants their gold, he wants their diamonds, he wants mostly their oil, right? That's the fatness that Esau really likes, because that's how he builds his weaponry, right? And here's the second part of his blessing from the Most High. And by the sword shalt thou live, and shalt serve thy brother. And it shall come to pass, when thou shalt have the dominion, thou shalt break the yoke, break his yoke from off thy neck. Right? And that's what happened, during the time of, when the so-called white man came back into power. We were ruling in Europe for 1,000 years, the so-called Negroes, Haitians, and West Indians, and a remnant of the Northern Kingdom were ruling that land for a long time. All right, so like I can't deal with this. Um, and for 1,000 years, and then Esau took it back, right? And he broke that yoke from off his neck, right? And he lives by the sword. That's his blessing, right? His blessing is the sword, and that's why he's the top dog when it comes to weaponry. Russia, America, um, Israel, Great Britain, all these places are the big time power for our weaponry, because that was also his blessing. So his blessing is the sword, right? So he lives by it. That's how he conquers all these nations, and this is how he takes over and pulls this coups like he's trying to do right now in Iran. Right? He just wants an excuse to get in there, because that's one of the last strongholds, man. If he can get Iran, he's gonna make his move. But this is Nahum 3:1. Woe to the bloody city! It is full of lies and robbery, and they departed not. Right? Here's Esau, Edom. Right? The noise of the whip, right? His oppression, right? And the noise of the rattling of the wheels, and of the prancing horses, and the jumping chariots. Now this is talking about his might and his power and his wealth, right? Horses represent power, chariots represent wealth, right? And this is talking about the so-called white man right here. The horseman lifteth up both the bright sword and the glittering spear, right? Now, a part of that power and that wealth, he's been able to build these ICBM missiles, which are going to destroy the planet Earth, well, most of the planet Earth, but all of the nations are going to feel the wrath of the Most High's anger once these glittering spears, or these bright swords, these are just ways to describe the visions that they were seeing of ICBM missiles, right? Once these are set off, the whole world is going to feel the effects of it. And there is a multitude of slain, and a great number of carcasses, and there is none end of their corpses. They stumble upon their corpses, right? This is future prophecy, because that's going to be going on right here in America. There's going to be so much death that we're not going to be able to bury the bodies in time, right? Because of the multitude of the whoredoms and the well-favored harlot, the mistress of witchcraft. Oh, Salakia. Yep, no, that's it. Mistress of witchcraft, that selleth nations through her whoredoms, and families through her witchcraft. And that's what the so-called white man's always done, right? He'll get into these nations, like with Juan Guaido, right? Because of his whoredom, right? His doctrine and his philosophies and his way of life, he pushes on these other nations. So you have Edomites in Iraq and in Saudi Arabia who look Arabic, who were put in power by the so-called white man, right? And that's why it's so wealthy over there, is because they've done this, right? They sell families and through their witchcraft and through their whoredoms. And their witchcraft is that what they practice when it is light. They get up early, they're doing their seances, they're having their witchcraft, they're holding their witchcraft conventions, at places like what is that place called? Bohemian Grove, right, where they do all their witchcraft. And this is how they've conquered the whole world, is through their left-hand power, the power of Satan. And they are the physical counterpart of Satan, according to the Bible, the Edomites, right? So woe to the bloody city, man. You're full of lies and robbery, and you got to pay that back. Just like if somebody killed your daughter, or your girlfriend, your wife, your side chick. Esau Edom, he gonna get his revenge, no matter what it takes. That's just the way Esau is. He gonna get his. So it's the same way. The Most High gonna get his. You owe. Esau owes, and you gotta pay up. You still hold the jewels of the Lord in your hands. And when he comes back and finds you have the apple of his eye still, and you ain't let up, you're gonna have to pay for that. Bottom line, period. And it's going to be a glorious day. And he says he's going to use his people, Israel, to break in pieces the nations. Figure that one out on your own. Shalom, shalom.